Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to QNAP live broadcast from our headquarters here in New Taipei. I'm Rezon, and here today with us are our product manager, senior product manager David, and our product manager Jasper. So we are going to talk about a really interesting topic, and without further ado, I will announce the topic for today really fast because we have what to say, we have what to introduce to you. So I'll show you the product immediately that we're going to talk. We are introducing the ZFS NAS, the ES1686dc, which features an Intel Xeon D dual active structure for a high reliable service for you and your enterprise. Yeah. So probably we can go on.
Yeah. So first we have to highlight that high availability is the key to enterprise storage.
Yeah.
And some people might wonder why. So I have to say, like, if you can imagine the following system stops working, like a CCTV camera for schools, communities, hotels, it might be a risk for our security, social security. And for example, the X-ray scanning of medical record system in hospitals, the critical data or daily operation systems in companies, or different kinds of financial service of banks. So if all of those systems stop working, can you imagine how the life changes? Yeah,
that will be really
disaster.
Yeah, disaster.
So that's why high availability is critical to our daily life.
Yeah.
And as a network storage expert, QNAP has also received the feedback from customers for a long time, like Taiwanese customer from machinery manufacturing factory. They say they need a reliable storage system can maintain 24 hours operations without any disruptions. And even from customers from US software company, they need a storage system can support their software development platform to support their R&D team from worldwide. Okay. So that's why we need a system with high availability.
Okay.
And generally speaking, there are two kinds of architectures to support high availability. The first one is the red one you can see, active standby.
Yeah.
And another one is active. So actually there's some disadvantages from active standby. First, you have to prepare twice hard drive and systems. And the system loading is not balanced, and you have some risk of data loss, and network is a risk. And I will highlight first that actually active standby HA is not worthwhile because you think you just need a HA system, but you need to prepare two systems and also two sets of hard drives and also two power systems. So I need one system, but it costs me twice the price.
Oh, it's more expensive.
It's more expensive.
And actually there is only one system is operating. The other one is just standby over there.
Yeah, standby
it's not working at all.
Standby doesn't work.
Yeah, it costs.
Yeah. And second, actually, it's not load balance because as just David mentioned that all of the service is handled by active system, and active system also need to sync the data to standby. So you really buy two systems, but you only have the performance from one system.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's just like you have two employees in your company, but only one is working. The other one is in case.
Yeah, but you have two
standby.
Yeah, standby employees.
Both of them salaries.
Yeah.
And the last one, network, is a bottleneck. So because the two system is connected by network, so the user need to think about how much bandwidth they need to use. 1G, 10G, or 5 channel, they cannot make the decision. And on top of that, if the network is disconnected, the active system cannot sync data to standby anymore.
Yeah.
The whole HA architecture is invalid. So that's why this time we are going to introduce an all-new ES1686dc. It's a highly availability storage system. The design comes with dual active controllers. So two controllers works at the same time. and we have designed for copy to flash in case of power failure, and the interface is dual path SAS, and components is designed for hot-swappable, and we have multiple paths and multiple network ports for host connection. So the concept of this system is to help user maintain non-stop operations.
Yep. So the ES NAS normally for business, so for sure we give 5 years warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to purchase like 2+3 extended warranty.
Oh, okay.
Just when you get the machine, you get a 5 years warranty.
Okay.
Yep.
Automatically you get the 5 years
Yes,
with this
right,
one. Well,
right.
really good.
Right. Okay, so let's have a look about old dual controller system and the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are familiar with QNAP NAS, we have ES1640dc V2 right now. It is selling right now, and I would like to compare the new one and the old one, and you can see the difference. Okay, and the first one, I think this time before we have the ES1640dc, and it is powered by the Intel Xeon 6-core E5 processor and with the 96 GB memory. And this time the dual controller NAS actually we provide different options to our customer. You can see 2 different kinds of CPU, Intel Xeon D 2123 IT, and another one is 2145 NT. And the 2123 IT is a 4-core quad-core processor, and the 2145 NT is a 8-core processor. So we will tell you later. We will tell you how to choose between the different SKU. And this time, I think we believe we provide a cost-effective dual controller system with high performance. So here is a quick comparison table. Compare the ES1640dc and the ES1686dc. And before it is Intel 6-core. And this time we have a quad-core and 8-core processor. We provide better performance and lower power consumption. So you will still get the excellent performance, maybe much better than before, but lower power consumption. Okay, and for the ES1640dc, there are only 6 memory slots in the system, and 3 for each controller. So this time we provide 16 memory slots.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's almost 3 times more, more than before. So 8 memory slots for each controller. Because it is ES NAS, Enterprise NAS, it is running the QES operating system. And QES operating system has a lot of powerful functions such as the deduplication, snapshot, or inline compression. And actually we need more RAM and also CPU to make those functions better. Okay.
So more memories means you can use more service.
Yes, right. And also this time we provide 2 onboard M.2 catch ports. There is no M.2 catch port in the ES1640dc. No. So if you want to have a SSD, you have to leverage the front port, right? So I will explain everything one by one. And the first one you can see, it is the internal design of the ES1686dc, and there are 8 memory slots over there. It's a little black one. The silver one is heatsink, and under the heatsink is the CPU, and there are 4 memory slots at each side of the CPU. So total 8 memory slots, and maximum you can up to 512 GB memory. Before with the 3-slot system ES1640, you can have maximum around 48 per controller. Because at that time we also have to reserve 1 memory reading for the copy to flash. And this time we don't really reserve 1 memory reading. We do something enhancement of that. And also there is a blue block at the top right corner. That is 64 GB M.2 SSD. That is for function. We call that as copy to flash function. We will introduce the function later on. And so we ship with this 64 GB M.2 SSD. Okay. Sorry. Since we provide several SKUs, so Intel Xeon D 2123 IT is 4 quad core, and it can maximum up turbo boost up to 3.0 GHz. And for the 2145 8 core processor, it can also turbo boost up to 3.0 GHz. So how do our customers choose between the two different CPUs?
How?
The first rule is just choose the best one, right?
Okay.
You don't have to worry about the specification. Just pick the ES1686dc with Intel Xeon D 2145 NT and with 128 GB memory. You don't have to worry about anything. But some customers, they still have some maybe budget issue. They want to have a simple system, just like the example below. They just want to have a high reliable storage system. They don't need to have those fancy enterprise functions, just like the deduplication or compression, because maybe they just want to back up the data. And capacity is enough for them. They just want to have a reliable storage. So at this time, or at this kind of scenario, you can just choose the 2123 IT processor. Because it's 4 core and it's cost effective and still powerful. It can handle your tasks, just like you want to have a surveillance system recording all the video into the storage, or you just make the ES1686 as a backup storage. So you can just choose this SKU. Okay, and if you want to have let's say all flash storage. Okay, and because I think everybody knows, if you want to have all flash storage, and SAS flash SSD is quite expensive, and capacity is, of course, is a little bit limited compared with the SAS hard drive, right? So since your flash capacity or SSD capacity is valuable, so you may need to leverage the deduplication function or compression function to save your storage space. So you need to have a powerful CPU, more cores. That means it can accelerate all the applications. So this is kind of our suggestion for our customers. Okay.
As for this kind of model or skill, it's particular tailored for intensive virtualization application, especially our QES support dedup or compression, those data saving technologies. And with flash disk, you can have high speed performance for your virtualization service. And for QES, we also have multiple plugins, so you can run application more easily and efficiently. And we are also going to support fiber. So if you use fiber with ES1686dc, it's very appropriate for applications like video editing, healthcare, and database. Those applications need very limited latency and high performance.
We are doing this right now. So just like all other our NAS, in the future the QES firmware will support the fiber channel card, and so you just install the fiber channel card. It can make your ES1686dc as a fiber channel story.
Very powerful.
Yes, right. Okay, let's take a. We just introduced why you want. What type of the high availability architecture. You can see the active standby and active, and the benefit of the active structure is you don't waste your money. And you have 2 employees work for you at the same time.
It's a cost-effective solution.
Yes, right. So let's have a look at the specification of the ES1686dc. So it's the front view. So at the front side, you can see, because it's 3U, and if it is full of the hard drive, it's a little bit heavy. So we provide 2 handles at each side. It will help our customers to easy to carry this big machine. And there are 16 tray, and for each tray there is a tray latch on top of the tray. It will avoid customer to eject the tray accidentally. And also this time we provide an OLED module at the front side. So with this OLED module, we provide power status, fan status, battery status, high availability status, and also NAS ID. So compared with the product before, we just provide just like a LED.
Yeah.
And when it is blinking or shows different color, you have no idea, right?
Oh, okay,
you have to check your user manual and see what happened. But this time we just give you the icon, so that would be clear, much more clear for the customers to understand what happened to your NAS. For example, if one of the controller fan is valid, you will see the fan icon flashing. And also there is a controller number, like a controller A or controller B. So you will know the fan in the controller A is failed, not controller B. So
That's why the number is there.
yeah, yep.
Oh,
Okay. So this time we provide a clear information with this OLED indicators at the front side. Okay, this is the rear view. Because it's dual controller, so two controllers, they have exactly same I/O at the rear side.
Yeah.
They share two power supply, so it's a redundant power supply. Okay, so in the active standby architecture, you have to purchase two NAS.
Okay.
Two NAS means 4 power supply.
Yeah.
But for this one, two controllers share only 2 power supply, so you don't have to waste your money in that kind of architecture. Okay, so this is a 770 watt redundant power supply, and we provide 2 PCIe slots in each controller. The specification is PCIe Gen 3 by 8 and 14 gig port. It's the interface is SFP Plus interface, and there is a power button, and the black one is the battery module.
Okay.
It is used for the copy to flash function.
Oh, okay. Copy to flash. All right.
Yeah.
Middle one.
Yeah.
The middle black one.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one. This
Yes,
the
right,
larger
right,
one.
right.
Yeah.
And there are 2 gigabit LAN port for our customers, and another 1 gigabit LAN port is for management. Okay. So if you want to log into the QES operating system, you have to connect your network cable to this one, login to this IP address. And of course, we provide a reset button and 2 USB 3.0. Okay, this is the rear view of the I/O. Okay, let's go into the controller.
Okay.
Just actually I explained almost all of them there. There is only one thing I'm missing before, is the fan module. You can see at the top. Right now you can see the M.2, right? Top blue block. Yeah, that is M.2 for battery backup storage, right?
Yeah.
And actually, this M.2 module is under the fan module. Okay. So there is a fan on top of the M.2 because we want to show our customers M.2 versus the M.2. So we hide the fan module over there. Okay. So we have 3 6 centimeter. It's 16K. RPM fan module. It's pretty powerful. It's for cooling the whole system. And also, if one of the controller is failed, you pull out the controller. The other controller, fans in the controller will still help to do the cooling stuff. So that's why that is the reason we choose 3 16K RPM fans in a controller. Okay. Okay, this is the block diagram of our system that shows our customer how we design this machine. Okay, there are 2 controllers. The block diagram is exactly the same. So you can see there's controller 1 and controller 2, and in the controller 1, you can see SAS controller connect to the CPU. Actually, 2 controllers, they share all the SAS hard drives. Okay, so that is what I mean. What Jasper mentioned before. You don't have to purchase another set of the hard drive for another machine, right? 2 controllers, they share the same hard drives, and they all connect to the CPU. And we provide 8 DDR4 memory slots and 2 extra PCIe slots. The specification is PCIe Gen 3x8 and 4 10 gig. So from this kind of architecture, you can notice that all the PCIe lanes comes from the CPU. So if you are familiar with the hardware architecture, some PCIe lanes may come from the CPU, some PCIe lanes may come from the we call NOS bridge, right?
Oh,
okay. Normally, you will get better performance with the PCIe LAN comes from the CPU side. Okay. Okay, this is the block diagram.
Yeah, and now we see the high availability storage in business, like how to build it up.
I think this in this session, Jasper is going to introduce why the ES1686 can help you to build up your business. High availability storage in your business.
Yeah, now we already have the idea about how the hardware design.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to introduce how to achieve high availability by this product.
Okay.
So first, this is the architecture that IT experts to design their infrastructure with non-single point of failure.
Yeah.
So normally they will prepare 2 sites. And these 2 sites might active or active standby. So the primary side and the DR side. And each side they will prepare multiple servers, multiple switch to ensure their service and network is no single point of failure.
Okay.
Yeah. But when it comes to storage, they have to rely on our high availability storage systems. And ES1686dc can tolerate single point of failure. As Debbie mentioned, that we have 2 controllers and 2 controllers have the same design, and 2 PSU can cover 2 controllers at the same time. So even 1 controller or 1 PSU doesn't work, they still have another components to work. And in control we have BBU and C2F to provide the data protection in case of power failure, and we have SAS. There are 2 interfaces for SAS, so all of hard drives can be connected by 2 controllers. And about copy to flash, here I will explain a little bit that normally when data is written from server to write cache in storage, and if there is a power failure, then we will copy the data from write cache to a SATA M.2 disk. And because we have BBU, so in the situation of power failure, you still have the BBU to ensure data can copy from write cache to the disk. And in our ES1686dc, each controller is installed a 64 GB SATA M.2 disk for copy to flash. So when power is recovered, then the data will flush from this M.2 disk to hard drives. Okay. And if the capacity in one system is enough for you, then you can add JBAR. And because we have PCIe slot on each controller, and so you can install a SAS 12 gigabit expansion card to connect JBAR. And particularly, our JBAR also comes with 2 controller design. Yeah, so your NAS, your JBAR, all of them have 2 controllers to avoid the single point of failure for your storage system. And you can cascade up to 7 JBARs. You can enjoy the high-speed transmission of 40 gigabit. And here we just want to let you know that because our controllers and the JBAR, our NAS and the JBAR, both of them have 2 controllers, and all of the connections are redundant paths. So even one path fails, you still have another path to access your disk. So you don't have to worry about your data access in our NAS.
Yep.
And the entire system is designed with hot-swappable components like controllers, hard drives, power supply, and battery. So you still can do maintenance, even you don't have to do the system shutdown to do the maintenance. You can do the maintenance without any system shutdown.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we achieve high availability.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how to connect to hosts. We have MPIO and trunking, and we also have several network ports. So even any network fails, the host still can access the data on our NAS, on our storage system.
So we're going to talk now about the accessories that are compatible with this NAS.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we can maybe see which ones are some of the features and how they integrate.
Yep.
Yep.
I think we provide PCIe slots, right? So that means
Yeah.
you can install something in the PCIe slots. And I will introduce another special accessory for the ES/NAS, and you will see that. This one is a special stuff, and we call this is a QDA.
Yeah.
Okay, it's QNAP drive adapter, and I think most of the enterprise storage, they want to have a dual controller. And if you want to have a dual controller system, means two controllers, they have to access your drive at the same time, right? Yeah. So normally only SAS hard drive or SAS interface supports dual port or dual interface. So only SAS drive can do that. But I think there are a lot of advantage of the SATA hard drive as well, right? And the first one is the price of the no matter SATA hard drive or SATA SSD is cheaper than the SAS one. And so SATA SSD and SATA hard drive, they can make or they can help you to build up a cost-effective storage environment, especially for the SAS SSD, because it's it's a SATA SSD. SATA SSD is cheaper, and but unfortunately it's SATA, so it can connect to your only one controller, right? Only one port. So based on this kind of reason, in this slide I introduced, I will explain more. You can see at the left side of this slide is SATA hard drive, and at the real side of the SATA hard drive you can see a connector, but actually there are two channels, or you can see two ports in this hard drive. So that means two controllers can connect to the same SAS drive, but not for the SATA hard drive.
So it doesn't apply for the SATA, that one?
No. But how if you want to use the SATA drive in the dual controller system? So that is the reason we provide this QDA.
Okay.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah, it's just kind of simply speaking, you can think this stuff is, it can make your SATA SSD and hard drive support dual port.
Okay.
So just like what I mentioned before, SATA hard drive or SSD only support single port, right?
Yeah.
If you plug this stuff, and it can become support dual port. And also support SAS protocol.
Wow. This is very useful.
Yeah. How to install this one? Actually, it's just like a PCB with some metal part.
Okay.
And in the tray, real side of our hard drive tray in the ES/NAS, there are two holes, right? Just install this into your, plug this on the real side of the tray, and fasten the screw, and that's done.
Just like that?
It's easy, just one click.
Yeah. And so how can you leverage those SATA hard drive and SSD? Of course, the first one is you can use SATA hard drives to build up your storage and pool, because normally SATA hard drive has higher capacity compared with the SAS one. Right?
Yeah.
If you want to have large capacity of your storage spaces, you can install the QDA into your SATA hard drive and build up the storage pool with the SATA hard drive. And of course, you can also leverage the SSD, and you can leverage the SSD as a cache. Before, you can only use maybe M.2 or SAS SSD as the cache.
Yeah.
But SAS 12 GB SSD is extremely expensive. Okay,
Yeah.
so by using the QDA, you can convert the SAS protocol to the SATA and support 2-port. So right now you can use the SATA SSD as the cache. No need to purchase the SAS expensive SSD.
Yeah, this is a solution.
Yeah. So this is the architecture. After installing the QDA for the each SATA no matter hard drive or SSD, it can make the SATA hard drive or SSD support dual port. So 2 controllers can connect to the SATA SSD or hard drive right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's thanks to the design of the QDA and the M.2 star on our controllers. I think this product, ES1686dc, redefined the concept of flash array. First, because we have QDA, so you can have a very cost-effective all-flash configuration with SATA SSD only, right? Yeah. And if you need capacity and performance at the same time, then you can put NVMe SSD on our controller or the QM2 adapter, and still put your SATA drive substrate in the front. So you can take advantage of the performance of NVMe, but also enjoy the big large capacity from SATA drive. And that's if you happen to have a lot of SATA SSD and SATA drive, for sure you can leverage our QDA to install those SATA drive in the front to have the most cost-effective flash array.
Yep. Okay, so let's see more accessories, and we I think everyone knows we have a lot of network adapters, right? And most of the adapters are powered by the MPIO, and just like this one, we have 10 gig dual-port adapters. The interface is SFP+. Okay, it supports Hierarchical hardware offload, and same as our 40 gig. Different interface. It is 40 gig. The connector type is QSFP+, and please be aware you need to have different cable. Okay, because the connector type is different.
Different, yeah.
Yeah,
and plus
fiber
we're
channel.
going to fiber channel.
Yeah.
That's a good news for enterprise customers.
Yeah, this is big news actually.
Yeah. And it's coming in H2 of this year.
H2 of this year we are having this. Okay. It's coming recently, very soon. So we have to expect it and tell our users and customers to wait for it.
If they want to, or if they in the future, if they have planned but they haven't decided that, it doesn't matter. Just purchase this right now, and because we are doing about the software part.
Okay.
So after purchase the NAS, in the future, just upgrade our firmware, and then you can support the fiber channel target and just install no matter single port or dual port fiber channel adapter into the NAS, and your NAS will become a fiber channel storage.
Nah, this is good. Okay, so you want to go to a break time?
Yep.
Okay, we have a break, short break, and we'll come back. Okay, we come back after the break, and now Jasper is going to talk more into details about the QES 2.1, right?
Yeah, so the ES1686dc will install QES 2.1 to provide the flexible, safe, and efficient storage systems. So first, this is the overview of QES system with ZFS File System, and you can see we support a lot of data service features. And I'm not going to introduce every one because there are too many features, but I will highlight some key features for you to understand.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, data storage matters, right? Because people want to buy NAS to save their data. And ZFS provide the RAID-Z data protection, so which is quite different from traditional RAID, because RAID-Z come with copy on write, and the beauty of copy on write is that all of data is either saved in system or not. So normally the traditional RAID technology, you might have garbage data.
Yeah,
because
happens.
if power failures happens, then the data is not written to the storage.
Okay, not completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and plus QES support different kinds of RAID. We have like general RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 6, and we also have RAID TP.
Okay.
Yeah, I will introduce later.
Okay.
And we also have triple mirror. So you can have data mirrored by RAID 1. You also can have triple mirror. Yeah.
That's advanced.
Yeah. And this is the trend of the capacity for hard drive and SSD. And you can see the capacity of hard drive SSD is increasing. Yeah. They were 16 terabyte for SSD several years ago, and now we are moving to 128 terabyte for one SSD. So which means each SSD saves a lot of data. Yeah, data is saved more and more in one SSD. So normally RAID 6 is not satisfied for this kind of big large capacity SSD. And RAID TP can support 3 parities, which means compared with RAID 6, there are only 2 parities. RAID TP we have 3 parities, which means the system can tolerate the failure of up to 3 disks.
Okay.
So we have better protections. And plus, the ZFS file system is designed based on hierarchical checksum to prevent any SAN data corruptions. So we will check, because the checksum and the data is saved separately. So you will not lose your data and checksum at the same time. Even you lose data, you still have the checksum to recover your data.
Okay.
Plus, as I just mentioned, we have copy on write to ensure end-to-end data integrity, so you don't have to worry about the power failure. If power failure happens, then the system will require the host to rewrite the data to the storage again. We will not allow any garbage data saved in our systems. And we also have the self-healing, which means if any data is corrupted in our system, our ZFS RAID will recover the data automatically and send back to the host with the correct data. So the host will not detect any error happens in our ZFS NAS. And then let's move on to
data management.
Yeah, the management is important.
Yeah.
So normally for flash storage or SSD, there's a technology called over-provisioning. But in QES, we provide over-provisioning on pool. So you can see on the left-hand side of this picture, the origin block.
Yeah.
So they are for data ABCD in pool. And if there's a new data coming data E coming to this pool,
Yeah.
and we will find out there's no continuous state space for this data E. So we have to save this data E separately. So next time when the system want to read this data E, they have to check 3 locations. Yeah, it's not effective. So for pool over provisioning, the green one, we will have a reserve space first.
Yeah.
So a user can, based on their needs, to adjust the reserve space. So if the data E is coming to this pool, we can put this data E in reserve space first.
Yeah.
And later on, if any existing data is removed, then the data E can move back to the pool free space.
Oh.
Yeah. So this technology ensures the space will not be fragmented, and the user can enjoy the better write performance. And we also have several kinds of data saving technology: deduplication, compression, and QES 2.1 we have compaction to ensure we use the space more efficiently. So there is no empty space in our storage, because if you just finish the deduplication and compression, there's still some empty space. And we want to compare the data and make you have better investment in our storage. And write coalescing, if you save your data discretely, which means you save your data very random, in a very random schema, then next time if you want to find out those data, it takes time. So write coalescing is a technology allow users to save their data continuously. So either your data comes to the storage in a random way, but we will save those data in a sequential way. So it speeds up your data read and write, and also extend your flash life cycle. And that's why we provide QES. So QES is an important feature in QES because we ensures enterprise customers to run various workloads in our storage with expected performance. So without QES, you might face the effect of noisy neighbor. Some workload might take too much resource on the system and affect the performance of other workload. So with QES, you can set the maximum performance and the minimum performance and ensure all of the workloads run within this range. So you can have your expected performance on this storage to manage your service. Security matters, right? Everyone worry about their data this time. And so we have volume-based and share folder encryption. So either your application is block level or file level, we provide encryption for all of your service, so you don't have to worry about your data. And some corporates or government need to follow some regulations to keep their data for specific periods. Okay, so that's why we provide both write once and read many. So once your data is written to our storage, then you can set the schedule, and within this schedule you only can read the data. You cannot make any change. And you also cannot delete. So you can protect your data within the specific schedules.
And data backup, like we have some solutions, some ideas how this happens in the QES.
First, we have nearly limitless snapshots. So you can take your snapshot as much as you want. You don't have to worry about it. And specifically, our snapshot doesn't affect our performance. So you just try to take as much as you need. And another advantage of our snapshot is our snapshot only backup differential data. And our clone is too. So you can take as much as snapshot you want because we don't limit the number of snapshots. And our snapshot is very space efficient. We only backup differential data, so don't worry about it. And if you want to backup your data to another site or another system, we have SnapSync to support file level and block level differential backup. And for ES1686dc, you can backup your data to another exactly same model. But you also can backup your data to our TS model or TDS model.
So it supports also the other one, so it can kind of communicate, it can snap sync.
Sure. So in primary side, you can deploy a high reliability system. But for DR side, maybe you just need a single controller model.
Oh, okay.
It's more cost effective for users.
Okay.
And now I'm going to introduce some applications for our ES model. The first one, because we can cascade up to 7 JBoss. So we can provide a Petabyte-Level file service, especially for customers working in media and entertainment, data center, manufacturing, factory, financial institute, and medical center. All of those industry, they need a huge space to save their data. And with SnapSync, we also can do remote data backup. And for sure, we also have a disaster recovery work for our customers. And that I will introduce some plugin for our disaster recovery. And virtualization, so we already introduced that our system, if you have the system with Echo CPU and the 128 GB memory, then it's perfect for VDI and virtualization application.
Okay.
And now we are going to introduce some virtualization integration because we are keep talking about this.
Yeah.
So first, QNAP develops VAAI plugin to help you accelerate the VM clone. So normally, if you want to clone your virtual machine, your VMware server has to handle this job for you. Yeah, but as a storage expert, I mean, right? Why that our NAS to do this kind of job? So with VAAI plugin, you can leverage our NAS to do the VM clone. And especially, we only clone differential data. So our clone is very space efficient. And if you want to do disaster recovery, you can leverage our SnapSync. So you just need to install storage replication adapter developed by QNAP. Yeah. So if the schedule needs to do disaster recovery, then the VMware server will notice our QES NAS, and we will sync our data to the DR side.
Okay.
And I think it's very common for users to have like hundreds of virtual machines on their environment.
Yeah.
But how do users ensure their virtual machine can back up at the same time? It's critical, right? So we have Snapshot agent. So the ES1686dc will notice the VMware server or maybe Microsoft server to back up their virtual machine at the same time by Snapshot engine. So Snapshot engine will handle the communication between server and our NAS.
Okay.
And you might have several servers and several QNAP NAS, but how to make your management job easy? Then we have vSphere web plugin. So if you use the VMware, then you just need to install this plugin in your UI, and you don't have to switch between VMware UI and our NAS UI.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So even though you are not expert in storage, but you still can just use some simple function to configure our NAS and set up your virtualization service. And for Microsoft, we also have Smith Provider to help you manage our NAS by Microsoft SCBA, this management interface. So it's very similar to VMware vSphere plugin. ES1686dc is certified by VIN. So you can use VIN to back up your data from our ES1686dc to any QNAP NAS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's one we are ready for OpenStack.
Yeah.
You can use our NAS, either iSCSI service or a file service.
Oh yeah? This is really good actually. So
and we have some tools for you, like we have QPointer Pro, Snapshot Engine, and all of these utilities you just need to download from our QNAP website. You don't have to pay any money for these utilities.
So these are all free.
These are all free for our customers.
Okay. So this is the ES1686dc, the new ZFS NAS that we introduced today. And we actually talk a lot about it. If you paid attention for this video from the beginning, also David was here, our senior PM. We introduced a lot of features. We talked about high availability of this NAS, and for example, we introduced the idea of active and the dual controllers. Also, we showed the hardware specifications, and we saw that how we can use some of the accessories to provide dual ports like the QDA. We provide also the network cards. We had the 10 gig
and 40 gig.
40 gig.
And the fiber is coming.
And the fiber, yeah, as you mentioned, like we showed that earlier, that the fiber is coming. So stay alert, and that was in the H2.
Yeah.
So we stay alert and be ready for that. This is the big news also. And also Jasper introduced us with the QES 2.1, some of the features and some of the applications and data management, data security, and how this ES1686dc integrates, and why is it your best choice. So yeah, this is it for today. And if you want to see more videos like this or this video, go again to our website here, live.qnap.com, and I'll see you next time on QNAP Live Broadcast. Bye.
Bye.